The Live Stream Code and Rating Administration has rated this online event PG. All ages admitted. Please be kind and stay on topic.
Good evening. My name is Dave Sundstrom. Welcome to the Good Stuff Live. Tonight, we are taking a look back at those celebrities, those famous faces, those people that we came to know and love on both the big and small screen, as well as some musicians that we lost in 2025. Tonight's live stream coincides with the January 2026 issue of Remind Magazine. They are a partner with this channel. They're not a sponsor, but they are a partner. And what that means is that they have allowed me to use the material inside the magazine. And they have also offered to give away an annual subscription this evening. So we'll have a drawing in just a little bit. But first, I want to go ahead and say hello to everybody that has been hanging out in the chat. Let's see what we got going here. Ken Wilkinson is here. That's actually Chris Wilkinson, if I remember correctly. And let's see, we've also got Paul Frees Gambit. Said, I saw this was about the death issue of Rewind Magazine. You know, it's a farewell issue of Remind Magazine, but what I think it is more than anything else, it celebrates the lives that these people lived, right? And the impact and the influence they had on all of us through the various projects that they worked on over their lifetimes. Yes, mine came in the mail last week as well. Karen Lee Maloney, welcome to the live stream. Let's see. Paul Frees Gambit says, the one that was the most shocking to me was Terry Bollea. Hulk Hogan. Yes, that was a tough one. Let's see who else is here. Lots of folks saying hello to each other. And here's Adrian James. Hey, Adrian, how's it going? Hope you're having a great week so far. It's just a Monday, but I hope it's off to a good start for all of you. Channel member Angela McCardle is here. She says, evening, everyone. Trying to keep warm since it's -3 degrees outside. We were mid-50s today. Go figure, Utah, a state where, in January we expect a lot of snow and cold weather. Mid-50s. Nutty. Let's see who else we have here. Paul Frees Gambit is experiencing similar warm weather. And Angela says it's supposed to warm up. Well, I hope it warms up for you. Channel member Thresh Pondo Pons. Bob Pons is here. Says, hey, cats and kittens. And channel member Tracy Roth Myers. Thanks for joining us tonight, Tracy. Chris asks, do they show the Twilight Zone movie you were talking about last night on YouTube, Bob? I don't know if that one's currently on YouTube. Bob can answer that one. Let's see. Channel member Angie McCardle says, I took my cat Scooby to the vet for her checkup before she gets neutered next month, and they said she was the most chill cat they'd ever had there. She was so good. That's awesome. Sounds like you've got a really good cat and a really good friend there. See, Gary Carpenter is here. Welcome, Gary. Good to have you with us. And Vinny G Random Vlog says, hey, all. Channel member Angela McCardle is using her milestone message. And she says, lost so many in 2025. May they all rest in peace. And the thing I love about milestone messages, and these are available to supporting channel members, is it tells me exactly how long each channel member has been supporting this channel, has been, in many ways, an executive producer of my live streams and all my videos. And Angela has been supporting me for almost 3 years, probably more than 3 years when you consider that before this we did Patreon. I did Patreon, so thank you for all your support, Angela. I truly appreciate it. Let's see. Keith Smith is here. Hello. Good to have you with us. And Bubs MP is here as well. Says, love the live streams. Let's see what else we've got. Try to get caught up as quickly as possible. Stevens Gate 1, good evening. Good to have you with us. Tom Donegan, welcome to the live stream tonight. This is a live stream where we will be talking about those that we've lost, including Rob Reiner, of course, although I don't believe Rob made it into the issue. I act like that's an accomplishment. It's not, but he's not in here due to the relative recency of that tragedy. Stevens Gate 1 says we lost a lot of people last year, or during this past year. So very true. And Bubs MP says, I miss getting magazines in the mail. My mom subscribed to Games magazine for me, and it was a treat every month. You know, I really do enjoy getting Remind magazine in the mail, and one of you lucky people are going to get an annual subscription free tonight. It's just great, right? Having something come in the mail, and it's something physical, it's tactile, it's in your hands, and you can, you know, whenever, you don't have to fire up a phone or anything to read the magazine. I just love it. I love this feeling. It's very retro. Hard to believe reading a magazine is considered retro, but it absolutely is. Let's see, what else do we have here? Anyone else said anything in the chat? We've got Linda H798. Hello, Linda. Thanks for joining us tonight. And channel member Lynn17 says, showed up despite having a cold, wasn't going to miss my first live stream as a member. And Lynn, thank you so much for joining my channel as a member. You know, you've been a subscriber for years, and I truly appreciate the fact that you decided to take that next step. And next Monday, we'll have a channel members only live stream. And those are super fun, super, you know, it's just because it's a smaller group of people. I get a chance to read every single comment, and we get just to talk in a different manner than I can when I have more people in the live stream. As much as I try, I ultimately end up missing certain comments. And anyway, great to have you on board. Let's see. Rachel in the 208 is here. Welcome, Rachel. Good to have you with us. You're not too late. Don't worry about that. Channel member Zuperplex is with us as well. Welcome, Zuper. Good to have you here. Let's see. Lamont Bradford, 4630, says Meathead and Malcolm Jamal Warner were two of the most shocking deaths. Both of them real tragedies, right? Real tragedies. Zuper says the only viable magazine platform today is the New Yorker. Even Time is floundering. Yeah, they're all struggling so darn much. Vinny G Random Blog says James Ransoni was a tough one. I'm not sure I know who James Ransoni is. Who is James Ransoni? American actor. What has he been in? Oh, he was in The Wire. Okay. What else has he been in? American actor known for his roles in horror and drama. So relatively young buck, this guy. He was born in 1979. My goodness, we just lost him on December 19th. He was 46 years old. He was in It, Black Phone. What else? Generation Kill. Mr. Right. Haven't heard of a lot of these. Looking back and see if I can find some that I recognize. Looks like a lot of independent films and a lot of horror. Yeah. Well, good. Yeah, it's too bad we lost him as well. And he's so young. That's a real tragedy. Let me see. Stevens Gate 1 says the problem I always had with getting magazines was they would sometimes arrive damaged. I hated that, especially if I was trying to save them. That has happened a time or two with Remind. I can't really blame them for that. But darn it all, it does happen. Gullible Skeptic 82 says first time catching a live stream. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. Channel member Lynn 17 says, I almost never read magazines these days, but I used to collect them. I had subscriptions to Mad, TV Guide, and multiple others. Sounds like we subscribe to the same things, Lynn. Zuper says it's old media. Online is the place to be. I have some online subscriptions as well, but I do enjoy going retro every now and again. Gary Carpenter wants to know if I've ever seen the Ghostly Gallery podcast. No, I have not. Palfrey's Gambit has said Michelle Trachtenberg was shocking. She sure was. That was a sad one, just 39 years old. She was diabetic, says Gary Carpenter. Zuperplex, channel member Zuperplex says time is a dying dinosaur. I think you could say that about a lot of the magazines out there. Channel member Lynn17 says, yes, Michelle Trachtenberg. I grew up watching her on The Adventures of Pete and Pete, as did I. I loved her on that show. Caroline Maloney says, my heart sank when I heard about Diane Keaton. Channel member Lance Chaffin says, hello there, as does Stewie Griffin fan, says, happy first Monday of 2025. Let's see. And channel member Angela Cardle remembers Pat Finn, who passed away on December 22nd. Gary Carpenter has a lot of old Wizard mags. I have a few of those as well. I loved Wizard magazine. Let's see. I think I'm caught up, or pretty much caught up. Folks are saying hello to Lance right now. So with that, let's talk a little bit about this issue of Remind Magazine and some of the people that they are spotlighting. And you guys can continue to tell me who the biggest surprises were for you, the folks we had to say farewell to this year or during 2025. And the ones that were most shocking, heartbreaking, whatever you want to share. But I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And the folks that with the first ones that we have in Remind Magazine are some real superstars, right? Robert Redford, Diane Keaton, Gene Hackman. Robert Redford died on September 16th, 2025. He was 89 years old. Of course, so many great movies that he was in: Barefoot in the Park, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, The Way We Were, The Sting, All the President's Men, The Natural. And don't forget Sneakers. I loved Sneakers. Diane Keaton was 79 years old, so 10 years younger than Robert Redford. She died on October 11th, 2025. Some of the films that we saw her in was The Father of the Bride series, The First Wife Club, Warren Beatty's epic film Reds. She was in a lot of Woody Allen movies as well. And one of my favorites, Something's Gotta Give. And Gene Hackman, what a tragedy that was. Both he and his wife passed away fairly close to each other. And a lot of it was the passing of Gene was related to the passing of his wife, which was sad. He was 95 years old. He passed away on February 18th, 2025. That's an approximation due to the circumstances in which he was found. His wife, his caretaker, died before him and was unable to take care of him. And as a result, because of the dementia that he was experiencing, he passed away afterwards. But of course, who can forget Gene Hackman in Superman, The French Connection, The Royal Tannenbaums, Bonnie and Clyde, Hoosiers, another one of my favorites. Just so many great films that he was in. Really love that guy. He's a wonderful actor. On the second page, Lonnie Anderson, Val Kilmer, and singer Roberta Flack. Let's see what they have to say here about Lonnie. Lonnie was 79, same age as Diane Keaton. She passed away on August 3rd, 2025. I like this quote they have. I'm a real woman with a real heart, and I have to live with a beautiful body and a pretty face, which is not nearly as easy as it sounds. Of course, we know her, we love her as Jennifer Marlowe in WKRP in Cincinnati. But she had other shows that I enjoyed her in. In particular, there was a show that she co-starred with Linda Carter in called Partners in Crime that was a lot of fun. Let's see, Val Kilmer. Boy, we just saw him making a cameo appearance in Top Gun, the second Top Gun movie. That was really a memorable, emotional appearance that he made there. But if I had to pick a single Val Kilmer movie, it might be Tombstone, where he was Wyatt or Doc Holliday. Excuse me, he was Doc Holliday in that movie. But I also enjoyed him in Batman Forever. He was in other movies that were made. I thought, there were some stinkers he made over the years, but I really loved him in Willow as well. He was great in Heat, and I enjoyed him in The Saint, if you remember that show. Anyway, he passed away on April 1st. No fooling, 2025. Roberta Flack, 88 years old, passed away on February 24th, 2025. Some of the songs that we might remember her for was The First Time I Saw Your Face, which was released in 73, and Killing Me Softly with His Song, which was released in 74. Let's do one more page, and then I'm going to go back to your comments. Because on the next page, June Lockhart, George Wendt, and Loretta Swit. I used to do a lot of videos and live streams for celebrities when we get news of their passing, and I've stopped doing that so much. But I did one for Loretta because that was an impactful one for me. I loved watching MASH growing up. Loretta passed away on May 30th, 2025, and she was 87 years old. And, she will forever be known as Margaret Houlihan. She's quoted as saying, MASH offered real characters and everybody identified with them because they had such soul. The humor was intelligent and it always assumed that you had an intellect. And boy, her portrayal of Margaret Hot Lips Houlihan definitely did that. June Lockhart was 100 years old when she passed away on October 23rd, 2025. Of course, we know June. My favorite June Lockhart role probably is Lost in Space. But I also enjoyed her in Lassie. And she came in towards the final seasons of Petticoat Junction to replace B. Benaderet, who had passed away. But yeah, lots of great roles that she's been in. And let's see what it says here. In the pantheon of TV moms, June Lockhart was out of this world, literally. 7 seasons on Lassie, and then 3 seasons? It doesn't say the number of seasons, but 65 to 68 as Maureen Robinson. And lastly, George Wendt, who passed away on May 20th, 2025. We all know him as Norm, right? Such a funny guy. Love George Wendt. Let's see what it says about him. The Chicago native and Second City alum was also beloved for his Saturday Night Live appearances. Oh, yes, the Bears appearances, where he was a fan, Bob Swirsky. All right, we're going to stop there for right now. In a little bit, we'll do some trivia, seeing how well you know some of these stars that passed away in 2025. But I want to go ahead and get to your comments. And there are, of course, in this magazine, this is just tip of the iceberg, right? Let me show you here. Sorry about that. I'm fighting a little bit of a cold. No one likes to hear the sniffles, though. There's Terry Bollea, Richard Chamberlain, David Lynch, Brian Wilson, Ozzy Osbourne, Bobby Sherman. I mean, it goes on. And sadly, these are all folks that we lost in 2025. Connie Francis, Marianne Faithfull, David Johansen, Sly Stone. Oh, this one hurt. Ace Frehley, Bobby Hart, Clem Burke, Rick Davies, Chuck Mangione. Some great musicians there. Oh, yeah. Diane Ladd, Bob Euchre, Wink Martindale, George Foreman, Michelle Trachtenberg. We already talked about her a little bit. Oh, this one was another tough one. Ruth Buzzy, Joe Don Baker, Gene Marsh, Malcolm Jamal Warner covering up his face there, Michael Madsen. It just goes on and on. So much so that The very back pages typically are reserved for other things, but the last page has more people. Jane Goodall, Jim Lovell, Pope Francis, Dick Cheney. Those are more public figures. Oh, Polly Holiday, Tony Roberts, Rick Hurst, Jerry Adler, Ann Burrell, Graham Greene. Lots of folks. We'll miss them so very darn much. All right, I'm going to get to your comments, everybody. Thanks for hanging with me while I kind of just ran through the magazine and reminisced just a little bit. Oh, Baby Boom. That was a fun Diane Keaton movie, too. I just saw that as I was scrolling up. Oh, I'm going to get to where we are here. Stewie Griffin, fan, 1986. That's Terrell, right? Terrell says, Rob Reiner's passing was a real shock. Truly barbaric. It was very sad. Oh, and Cool Chick 72 says the YouTuber Adam the Woo. Yeah, that one was a tough one. Rob Reiner was a surprise for sure. It was horrific, says channel member Angela McCardle. Channel member Lance Chaffin says Hulk Hogan, rest in peace. Channel member Superplex says Rob Reiner was the most shocking by far. Laura Strobel, 718, says, sorry I'm late. I was watching an old General Hospital episode. So let's not forget Anthony Geary, who we lost in December as well. Channel member Tracy Roth Myers says Adam the Woo was a YouTube creator, a very popular guy. Yeah, he did travel blogs. I didn't watch them. I must admit I wasn't super familiar with him, but he sounds like he was great. Channel member Angela McCardle says Gene Hackman threw me for a loop, as well as Diane Keaton. Cool Chick 72 says Adam the Woo was shocking. Right. You know, those that die by suicide, it's tough. It's tough. I recently had a coworker who passed that way, and it's just, sometimes you don't see the signs, right? It is shocking and very surprising. Let's see. Channel member Lynn17 says Brian Wilson, music not TV, but I grew up with the Beach Boys. Absolutely. Rachel in the 208 says I liked Baby Boom. Yeah, that was a great movie. Let's see. Stevens Gate 1 says we also lost a great man of God known as America's pastor, Pastor John MacArthur, back on July 14th. He was always on the Larry King Show. Hey there, Sarah. Good to have you with us here tonight. That's channel member Sarah. My flock is everywhere is her handle, I believe. At least that's what I think it is. Bob Pons points out that Robert Redford was on a Twilight Zone episode as well. Let's see. Vinny G. Random Vlog says rest in peace Gene Hackman and Hulk Hogan. Gary Carpenter says Gene Hackman and Terrence Stamp, General Zod. Paul Freeze Gambit said I forgot about Ace Frehley. And channel member Lynn17 points out that Gene Hackman was considered for the role of Mike Brady. Fun fact. It is indeed a fun fact. I like that one. Laura Strobel 718 says I didn't know that Samantha Eggar passed. Loved her. I didn't know that either. When did she pass? Let's look that one up. October 15th, 2025. I had to have heard of that. I just guess I don't remember. Let's see. Bubs MP says we lost some giants this year. So very true. Let's see. Laura Strobel 718 says tough year. Yeah, for sure. Channel member Superplex points out that Hackman's wife was dead for a week. It was calculated, and he was unable to register that fact in his mind because of his Alzheimer's. Welcome to the live stream tonight, Melissa. Great to have you with us. Channel member Melissa Foster, thank you for all your support. And Sarah says, hit that like button and share out and comment after the show, please. And thank you. And yes, all that stuff. Truly appreciated when you do. Let's see. Vinny G. Random Vlog says Val Kilmer was great. He sure was. Glad he was in Maverick. Keith Smith says this past year, 3 celebrities I met at Comic-Cons passed away. Val Kilmer, Danielle Spencer. There's another one. That was a tough one. That girl sure went through a lot. And then, of course, yeah, Gil Gerard in late December as well. All were very kind people. Or Strobel says, I didn't realize that Roberta Flack had passed away. R.I.P. Palfrey's Gambit says, the first time I saw your face was in the soundtrack for Play Misty for Me. Vinny G, Random Blogs, pointing out that Val Kilmer was also in Random Genius. That was a fun one. Was it? Or Real Genius, excuse me. I read that wrong. It sounded wrong as I said it. Let's see. Val Kilmer. Thunderheart was a brilliant film. Yes, and The Doors as well. Another one I'm thinking of. Let's see. Gary Carpenter points out Willow and Batman Forever for Val. And then channel member Lynn 17 says, oh, I forgot June Lockhart died, but what a long life and career she had. 100 is a big milestone. It sure is. That's a life well lived, right? Laura Strobel 718 says June was so awesome. Gary Carpenter says Brian Wilson died June 11th, my grandmother's birthday. Let's see. And Bob Pons, Thresh Pondo Pons, channel member, says I met June when I was a kid. How cool is that? Channel member Melissa Foster says passing of Loretta Swit was unexpected. Not too many from MASH cast that are left. Yeah. Gary Berghoff, Jamie Farr, Alan Alda, Mike Farrell, right? So we have a few. Let's see. Raja 1938 says, last time I saw June Lockhart was a guest appearance on Babylon 5. That's a while ago. And Gary Carpenter points out she was in She-Wolf of London. Rachel in the 208 says, we lost so many younger people this year. Yeah. Gosh darn it all. And Stephen's Gate 1, following up on his last message, points out that John MacArthur, America's pastor, died on July 14th, 2025. Karen Lee Maloney says, June Lockhart, my favorite role was her along with her parents in the 1938 Christmas Carol with Reginald Owen. Okay, yeah, good one. Adam the Woo would be too late. That magazine, when it went to publication, they have to have that all done pretty much by the end of November. So Rob Reiner, Gil Gerard, Anthony Geary, Adam the Woo, anybody that is December passing, they're not going to be in the farewell issue, unfortunately. Let's see. Karen, she was in The Night They Saved Santa Claus with Art Carney, was Santa Claus, and she was Mrs. Claus. I'm not sure who we're talking about there. Maybe June Lockhart? I don't know. Don't remember, because I don't think I've seen that movie. Vinny G, Random Blog, says too much incredible talent gone. Yep. And we're going to see more and more of those folks that we truly loved. We truly valued their performances, their contributions to the world of arts. More and more folks leave us. Channel member Angela McCardle says, it's tough when you realize most of the stars you adored in your childhood are no longer with us. Yeah. Channel member Lynn 17 says, I mainly knew George Foreman for his grill and his guest spot on Home Improvement. Yeah. He did so many of those infomercials, right? That we kind of got to know him because of that. Palfrey's Gambit says he thought Bob Euchre died 20 years ago. No, just this year. Channel member Music Girl 67, hey, Ms. Elizabeth, says, hello there and good evening, Dave, and to everyone. Here's hoping everyone's first full week of 2026 is off to a phenomenal start. It's wonderful to see you all. It's great to have you with us tonight, Ms. Elizabeth. Laura Strobel 718 says, Joey Mullen, the last original member of Badfinger. Okay, yeah. I remember Badfinger. Let's see. Melissa Foster, channel member Melissa Foster, says, I loved Ruth Buzzy and Lafayette. And I loved her in Lost Saucer, if you remember that Saturday morning show with Jim Neighbors. Let's see. Raji 1938 says, Malcolm Jamal Warner was the most heartbreaking. He sure was. Just a young guy, and he got caught in one of those pools of water where they just kind of suck you in. He couldn't get out. Lynn 17 said, I had one too. My grandparents got one for me and my folks. I think we're talking about Foreman grills here. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Paul Frees Gambit says he thinks that 2 members of Badfinger died from pesticide poisoning. I had not heard of that. Gary Carpenter points out Polly Holiday, who played Flo, and Diane Ladd, who played Belle, and Diane Ladd, who played Flo in the movie version of Alice. Adam the Woo died probably a week and a half ago, and I do believe it was death by suicide. Let's see what we got here. Laura Strobel 718 says the great Anthony Geary, that hit hard, plus Leslie Charleson, Tristan Rogers, Chris Robinson, and Denise Alexander, all General Hospital OGs. Yeah, lost a lot of folks from General Hospital. We lost a lot of them this year. Let's see. Channel member Angela McCardle says he's not a celebrity, but losing my ex-husband on December 21st was tough. Yeah, that would be. Losing loved ones is probably tougher. Let's be truthful, right? It's probably tougher than losing a celebrity because these are folks that are near and dear to you. You shared a life with that man for a period of time. So absolutely that's going to be tough. And I'm sorry that happened. My condolences to you. Let's see. Stewie Griffin fan, 1986, is Malcolm Jamal Warner. That was a sad loss for many Gen Xers who grew up watching him as Theo Huxtable on the Jello Man Show. I like that, the Jello Man Show. Let's call it that from now on, the Jello Man Show. And we will call it Fat Albert and the Jello Man Kids. I like that. Bubs MP says full-time RVers looking for a place to call home. We went through an area in Idaho. Each street was named after a musician. We looked at a home on West Fraley Way near the corner of Page and Plant Drive. That is awesome. And you're a full-time RVer. How cool is that? Let's see. D-Teddy 1970 says, hey, Dave, we used to be neighbors. This is Troy Daniels. Hey, Troy. We sure did. Great to hear from you. Thanks for popping into the live stream tonight. Hope all is well with you and your family. My wife runs into your brother every now and again. He helps her do, I think it's CPR training, something like that. Let's see. Stevens Gate 1 says, I got to tell you, I'm 64 and I can't help think that my time is coming. When you're young, it seems so far away, but now that I'm thinking about it a lot. Sorry, guys, I don't mean to be a downer. No, I think that's a natural thing, right? As we get older, is we start realizing that, we're mortal. And that mortality means that there's an end to it all. Life is finite. It's not infinite. And we just have to do the very best that we can with every single day that we have. Channel member Melissa Foster says both Anthony Geary and Rob Reiner died on the same day. Anthony Geary also appeared as a guest during the first season of All in the Family as Mike's friend. He sure did. Let's see. Ms. Elizabeth says, being a music girl, losing so many people involved in music was quite difficult for me, especially the handsome Bobby Sherman, who was a Southern Californian like her. Palfrey's Gambit says, isn't it bizarre at the Oscars or Golden Globes when they have the In Memoriam segment? Some people get a few random claps while others get rousing applause. Yeah. And it's interesting how they always seem to miss someone on those things when they do them. Gary Carpenter says it was June Lockhart was playing Mrs. Claus in The Night They Saved for Christmas. Okay. And channel member Tracy Rothmeyer says, I kind of feel like all the adults are not in the room anymore in my generation. Yeah. I hear you. All right, I think I'm going to pause there, at least right now. And what we're going to do is let's give away the subscription to Remind Magazine. And I apologize. I've got to set this up real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and get my giveaway set up. It takes me just a second. And I'm a horrible multitasker, by the way. Horrible at talking and typing at the same time. You guys are probably way better at it than I am. But let me pick a live stream. Let's do this one. And what we'll do, it's going to be hashtag remind. And don't do it yet. But all you have to do to be eligible to potentially win the annual subscription to Remind Magazine, have this magazine sent directly to your mailbox for a full year, is you have to type hashtag remind in the chat now. And I'm going to give you guys all time to do it because we're going to watch some vintage commercials, a little something on Remind Magazine, and I'll be back in about 2.5 minutes to give away the magazine subscription. So with that said, let me go over to my commercial archive. Let's get going. Here we go.
We'll return after these messages.
From J2 Communications, it's Alyssa Milano's brand new hit video that everybody's talking about, Teen Steam. See the star of Who's the Boss as you've never seen her before in her own outrageous video filled with dancing and music. Come to her room and hang out with Alyssa and her friends.
I wonder if this is how Michael Jackson got started. Think. Maybe.
Teen Steam. It's more than a workout video. It's more than a dance video. It's hot. And if you order your Teen Steam video now, you'll also get free the official Teen Steam watch. It's stylish, dependable, and at the $12.95 value. It's yours absolutely free when you order Teen Steam. Order now.
Even when the fish aren't biting, I am. And there's nothing I love nibbling on more than this 100% natural Kraft cheese. See, it's different from most cheese products you'll find these days, because there are no artificial ingredients, additives, or preservatives. But when it's 100% natural Kraft cheese, it's easy to get me to bite. No wonder America spells cheese. As natural as fishing and nibbling.
That friendly nurse is sure courageous, 'cause breath like yours could be contagious.
Brush your breath, brush your breath, brush your breath with Dentine.
Oh, you finally found your young Prince Charming. Too bad your breath is so alarming.
Brush your breath, brush your breath, brush your breath with Dentine.
Not even mouthwash can freshen your breath more effectively than when you're chewing Dentine.
What a fighter. You're sure he'll win, but then your breath just did them in.
Brush your breath, brush your breath, brush your breath with Dentine.
It's time to give away an annual subscription to Remind Magazine.
All right, let's do this. If you want to win the magazine subscription, type hashtag Remind in the chat right now. All right. I'm going to put a little timer on the screen. Let's go 30 seconds, and then I'm going to push the button. So let's give folks just a little more time. Any of those folks that maybe we're still thinking about whether they want to enter the drawing. You know, it's absolutely no cost. The only thing I will ask of you is for you to send me your full name and your home address through email. So let's go ahead and take the timer off the screen. And let me go ahead and add. Let's see, here we go. Share screen, giveaway tool. There we go. Everybody can see that. Let's go ahead and just put that in full screen mode. Take my mug off the screen here for a second. And then let me go ahead and 1 in 13. Hey, those folks that entered in the drawing tonight have a 1 in 13 chance. That's pretty darn good. Let's see who our winner is. Who is it tonight? Our winner is Lynn17. By the way, a new channel member. How awesome is that? That is just absolutely great, Lynn. Congratulations to you. Well deserved. You've been such a, you've just been such a engaged community member for so long that I'm tickled that you are our winner tonight. And here's what I need you to do. I need you to send me an email. Yep, jump in your email at some point. Now, I'm going to leave this on screen for about 10 seconds more, but if for some reason you don't have time to write down my email address, you can, of course, go back and you can pause the video right now, the live stream. You can actually pause that if you want to. You'll just be a little bit behind us from a live mode, or you can go back and watch the live stream later again and catch the email address. But yeah, send me your full name, your physical address, and I will forward it on to my friends over at Remind Magazine, and they will get you all hooked up with a subscription. Let me go ahead and take that off the screen. Okay. So what do we have left? Let's read a few more comments. And then we will go on and we'll do a little trivia. Remind Magazine, one of the things that it always does is, and by the way, if you didn't win, you can always click on that link in the description section of the live stream, or if you're watching it after the fact of the replay of the live stream, it's in the description section here at YouTube, and you can get a great deal. It's not an expensive magazine to subscribe to on an annual basis. But let's read a few more comments. Music Girl 67, channel member Ms. Elizabeth, says, I've already lived longer than my beautiful grandmother that raised me, and I'm not far behind in age from when my mom and my great-grandma passed, so it's definitely is in my head that my day is coming soon. Well, let's fingers crossed it's not too soon, right? We live in a wonderful time where people tend to live longer than they used to. Channel member Angela Cardle says, I've been watching a lot of the Andy Griffith Show lately. One of my favorites. For me too. Bob says, Dave's gone. Everyone hide. I love that. Rachel in the 208 says, Teen Steam. What a crazy commercial that was. Oh my goodness. Palfrey's Gambit says, no way that watch is a $12.99 value. And think about it. They were saying that back then, which was probably would have made it more like a $30 value, they're saying. Music Girl 67 says, I've already got a subscription. What happens then, Music Girl 67, is I find out I get you an alternate price. So absolutely enter the drawings in the future. I can get you something. It may not be as great, but I can get you an alternate prize if you win the drawing. Channel member Angela McArdle says, speaking of Andy Griffith, love those craft commercials that he did. Yeah, he did. Those were fun. Good cracker. Laura Strobel says, my son wanted this magazine for Christmas last year, but I couldn't find it in bookstores. I haven't seen it in book. You used to see it all the time in like Barnes and Nobles and B. Dalton's. But I think they may have gone to a subscription-only distribution model, except for, and this is important, if you have a Dollar Tree or a dollar store in your area, check those out. Because if they have a magazine rack, occasionally there'll be a special issue of Remind magazine that's made specifically for those outlets, and they only charge I think it's $1.25 now for the magazine, but it's great to get a copy, because this the cover price on these things is $5.99. Oh my goodness, it's $6.99 now the subscription price is much less than that, so it's definitely the way to go. But if you see a copy of it at the dollar store, get it that way too. I always pick up a spare copy when I see it at the dollar store. Let's see. You know what? I think we're going to stop. Someone was asking if the Dentine commercials are still like that. I don't think so. Matter of fact, I haven't seen Dentine in a while. Is this still a product that's being made? I love those commercials, though. Those were so much fun. Yeah. I think I'm going to stop there, and I think Lynn 17, channel member Lynn 17 says, OMG, thank you. Well, you're very, very welcome. You're very, very welcome. And I love this. Music Girl 67 says, congratulations, Lynn. It's your lucky night. Yippee skippy. Yes, indeed. That's awesome. I love the sportsmanship and just how everybody's supportive, even when you don't win, how supportive you are and how congratulatory you are for the winner. Yes. Channel member Melissa Foster says, my Dollar Tree has some back issues of Remind magazine. Yeah, they're specially made back issues for the dollar stores, and they're great. But they're not, because they're specially made, they have the same number of pages, but anything that might be time sensitive has been removed from it. Makes them more evergreen. Channel member Music Girl 67 says, Dave, I didn't enter the drawing because I wasn't sure, but now that I know I can still win something, watch out, everyone. Here comes Lizzie. Absolutely. And yes, Danny Zuko 78, your time will come. Okay, yes, we're going to do a 5-question trivia. Now, every single issue of Remind magazine has something called Ultimate Trivia right here at the very back of the magazine. And there is typically 25 questions. Yeah, 25 questions here. Now, I should point out, for those folks that aren't now that familiar with Remind magazine, these are things you always see in it. Every month, there's like a time capsule section. I love these. Reading what was going on during a particular year. There's also, focuses on very specific decades. Like they'll do a page or 2 pages on 1950s, and they'll do 2 pages on 1960s, and 2 pages on the 70s. There's Danielle Spencer, who was in a classic 70s sitcom, What's Happening. Loved her as Dee Thomas in that show. And all the way through the 90s. I think that's it. The 80s, 90s. They don't do the 2000s. Nope. And then they do a schedule for Turner Classic Movies. There's the January schedule. And then a ton of pages of puzzles. There's like 12 pages of puzzles or something. 11 pages, it says. And I love doing those as well. When I get bored, I love doing the crosswords. And then at the end, the Ultimate Trivia. So let's do some of the questions from Ultimate Trivia. Let's see. Oh, there's a reader submission. I can't wait to read. I might make a video based on this. Marianne, Don Wells helped me make my dreams come true. That sounds like material for a future video. From Kaylee Lacio. All right, where's this trivia? Let's get here. Okay. Question number 1. And I'm going to get my timer on the screen here so that we can move at a relatively brisk pace. Question number 1. What film was Robert Redford's directorial debut? Your choices are A, The Natural, B, A River Runs Through It, C, All the President's Men, or D, Ordinary People. My timer has started. The question again is, what film was Robert Redford's directorial debut? A, The Natural, B, A River Runs Through It, C, All the President's Men, or D, Ordinary People. And I have not gone through this one, so I'm going to play along with you and we'll see how I do. You can put your answers in the chat if you want, or lock them in your noggin. Take the timer off the screen here for a second. The correct answer, I believe, the answers are on page 55, so okay, over here, is D, Ordinary People. That is correct. All right, moving on. Number 2, Richard Chamberlain rose to fame for his role in which 1960s television series? Was it A, Dr. Kildare, B, Bonanza, C, Bewitched, or D, Hawaii Five-0? I think this one's an easy one. Feels easy to me. Again, the question is, Richard Chamberlain rose to fame for his role in which 1960s television series? I'm not even going to look at the answer. I know the answer here. A, Dr. Kildare, B, Bonanza, C, Bewitched, or D, Hawaii Five-0. Lock your answers in the chat, or you can just lock them in your noggin like I do. Correct answer is A, Dr. Kildare. 3, Lonnie Anderson is best known for her role as which character on the sitcom WKRP in Cincinnati? And I told you the answer to this one earlier. Your choices are A, Mary Richards, B, Jennifer Marlowe, C, Carol Kester, or D, Bailey Quarters. Timer engaged. Again, the question is, Lonnie Anderson is best known for her role as which character on the sitcom WKRP in Cincinnati? Your choices are A, Mary Richards, B, Jennifer Marlowe, C, Carol Kester, or D, Bailey Quarters. Give you guys about 10 more seconds, and then we will. I don't even need to look at the answer sheet for this one either. This one's permanently imprinted. Correct answer is B, Jennifer Marlowe. 4, in 1979, why was Ozzy Osbourne fired from Black Sabbath? Your answers are A, financial issues with the band, B, his drug and alcohol abuse, C, health issues, or D, creative differences. I do not know the answer to this one. I'm going to guess on this one in a minute. In 1979, Ozzy Osbourne was fired from Black Sabbath. Why? A, financial issues, B, his drug and alcohol abuse, C, health issues, or D, creative differences. Just a few seconds left. I'm going to go drug and alcohol abuse, B. I do not know if that is correct, so we're going to have to look that one up. 4 is B. Okay. Let's do one more. One more question. Then I'm going to get your scores. Loretta Swit. Oh. I guess I can give you this one. It's so easy, though. Bob, if you're still there playing with us, I'm sorry that this question is so easy. I know that you would frown upon asking a question this easy, but it's here. It's number 5. We'll ask it anyway. Loretta Swit played Major Margaret Houlihan on the TV series MASH. What was her character's nickname? A, Sugar, B, Long Legs, C, Hot Lips, or D, Hula Hottie? Hula Hottie. Timer engaged. Question is, again, Loretta Swit played Major Margaret Houlihan on the TV series MASH. What was her character's nickname? You got A, Sugar, B, Long Legs, C, Hot Lips, or D, Hula Hottie. Give you don't even need, none of you need 10 more seconds, but I'm going to give it to you, and I'm not going to look at the answer key because I know the answer to this one as well. And then we'll get some final scores. Correct answer is C, Hot Lips. Houlihan is what she was known as on the show. And the character was known as that in the movie, played by Sally Kellerman in the movie. All right, let's see. I got 5 out of 5. Got lucky on the Ozzy Osbourne one. Let's see how you guys did. Okay, we'll start here with Karen Lee Maloney. Got 4 out of 5. Chris Wilkinson got 3 out of 5. Channel member Thresh Pondo Palms, 545. Rachel and 208, 5 out of 5. Let's see. Channel member Superplex, 5 out of 5. Channel member Angela McCardle, 5 out of 5. Stewie Griffin, fan 1986, 5 out of 5. Yes, a better question would have been who played Hot Lips in the movie. I agree with you on that one. Lamont Bradford got 5 out of 5. Stevens Gate 1 says 1 out of 5. I stink. Here's the deal, Stephen. Did you have fun? That's all that really matters when we do these things. The score, other than that, it really doesn't matter. 3 out of 5 for Danny Zuko, 78. Channel member Music Girl 67 says, oh my goodness, I got them all right, and I didn't need to cheat off someone else's paper this week. 5 out of 5. Nicely done. Channel member Melissa Foster got 3 out of 5. Channel member Lynn 17 got 5 out of 5. Channel member Tracy Roth Myers got 4 out of 5. Let's see. Rob Aiken got 5 out of 5, even though I just got here 10 seconds ago and missed it. You would have gotten 5 out of 5, Rob. Let's see. I think that's it. And Stephen says, yes, he had fun. That's the important part. That's why we do these things. Although the topic tonight wasn't that much fun, I did enjoy visiting with all of you about about all of these celebrities and the impact that they made on our lives. Memorable performances, memorable characters, and these folks are going to be missed. And the best thing we can do is celebrate their lives by going out and watching the TV shows they were in, the movies that they made. And that's really what matters. They've left a lasting mark right on society and in our lives, each one of our lives. So while we can be sad, we can also celebrate what they accomplished. All right, folks, that is it for tonight. I'm going to go out and have dinner with my family. But before I do that, I'm going to, I do see, hey, look, Chris Baker just arrived. Channel member Chris Baker has been a member for 7 months. Better say hi to him. Chris, hopefully you catch this on the replay. Thank you to everyone, including Chris, for all your support and for hanging out with me tonight. I'm going to go get some food and, hang out with the family for a little bit before we, call it a night and go to sleep. So thanks again, everybody, for hanging out. And if you haven't given this live stream a thumbs up, please do so. It means a lot to me. I appreciate the engagement, and we'll talk to you all very, very soon. Take care, everyone.
Don't be a joker. Click on that little thumbs up icon and give this video a like.
You are special. Click on that thumbnail cause it's time to go. Dave's got the classics, let the memories flow. TV shows and movies that we all hold so dear. On his YouTube channel he's keeping memories near. Dave Sundstrom, bringing back the good stuff, oh yeah.